I can't type. I don't take dictation. I won't sharpen pencils. I can't file. My boss calls me indispensable.
Miss Jones,
Just a minute.
will you make a copy of this?
Naturally. I pushed the button on the Xerox 914. I make perfect copies of whatever my boss needs by just turning a knob and pushing a button. Anything he can see, I can copy in black and white on ordinary paper. And am I fast? I can make 7 copies in a minute. By the way, I never need wet chemicals. My 914 is a dry machine, powder dry. Sometimes my boss asks me which is the original, and sometimes I don't know. Here, Mr. Smith, I'm going to lunch with Mother.
When did you start baking from scratch?
It's not scratch, Mom. It's new Pillsbury Plus.
A yellow cake this firm could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus.
A cake this moist could only be from scratch. A cake this rich could only be from scratch.
It's Pillsbury Plus. The plus is pudding. Pudding right in the mix to add that moistness.
Rich flavor. New Pillsbury Plus, huh? Looks like scratch has met its match.
Know how I save money with unsweetened Kool-Aid and sugar, just like my mom did. I remember how she'd mix a big pitcher full. Kool-Aid was so good and so inexpensive. It's still as delicious as ever. Today, with my sugar, it's about 12 cents a quart. Has vitamin C, too. I like giving Kathy what my mom gave me.
Kool-Aid brand soft drink mix and your sugar. You loved it as a kid, you trusted as a mother.
Why are women so happy about new Tickle antiperspirant? Is it because Tickle is the first roll-on with a big, wide ball? Is it because Tickle has a new, quick-drying formula? Or is it because Tickle helps keep you dry all day? Make yourself happy. Staying drier is nicer with a little Tickle.
America's been waiting for a family show about a real family.
Maybe you're just old-fashioned. Yeah, maybe.
A show that reveals the joys and the sorrows.
You better all dig down and find your pennies because this family could be in deep financial trouble.
The triumphs and the defeats of real people.
Mary, would you lay off him? He's just trying to do his job.
The Bradfords are the family. 8 is Enough is the show. Right after Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley.
Day out here stretches from sunup to sundown, but there's always time for a Marlboro, the cigarette that gives you flavor, rich and full.
You get a lot to like with a Marlboro. Filter, flavor, pack, or box.
Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro Country.
And now there's something new in Marlboro Country. A fresh new cigarette. Marlboro Menthol Green. Just ask for Marlboro Green. Unless you're already smoking famous Marlboro Red. Red or green, you get a lot to like in Marlboro Country.
I hereby dub you the Easter Bunny.
Wednesday, a special family presentation narrated by Fred Astaire.
The Easter Bunny is coming to town today.
Let's all have a happy Easter.
The Easter Bunny's coming to town.
I'm Sandy Duncan, and like most everybody, I am a snack lover. In fact, right now, I love some Wheat Thins. Wheat Thins taste really good, and they're full of natural whole wheat. So they make a terrific snack, right out of the box, or you could put something on top. Look, when you're having a snack, why not have something really good? Wheat Thins. They call them the light little cracker with the big wheat taste from Nabisco. Love them.
A Miles beat.
Okay, so did something happen between you and her tonight? Last night?
What?
Something happened between you and her last night?
I mean, not kinda, but not really.
Okay. Do me a favor. Don't put your hands in your pockets like that when we're talking.
It ain't nothing.
Come here. Come on over here for a second. Go ahead and turn around. You just keep putting your... Don't tense up, man. Don't tense up, man. Where are you going?
Settle that, mother. Look, I'm about to jump. I'm about to jump. Don't tase me.
It's a fine line between stupid and clever. Yeah, it's just clever.
Well, shit. All right, it would have been better if I turned on the mics and shit. Yeah, y'all heard me, but Cyberfan, Fanbots, Lord, Famericans, and Odysseans. I forgot something, I'm sure. Yeah, we were muted, dumb bears. As usual, boomers. All right, so
it's almost your gimmick at this point.
Yes.
He's totally not doing that. What do you mean almost? If it's not Boomer,
it's totally your
if it's
gimmick
not Boomered somewhere in the broadcast, it's not Irate Prospect.
That's right.
It's endearing.
Guaranteed to be flawed, man. Like everybody in this world.
We all are.
And it makes it a very approachable show, in my opinion.
We can relate.
Indeed. And that's what this is all about. This is all about relating and communicating to each other. You know, it's this time of year, it's special. What did you think about the day they tried to jump out the window? He just bounced off of it.
Evidently, he's never heard of suicide prevention windows.
I wanted you to play it again because you can hear the cop giggle.
Yeah,
when he hits the window.
You know.
I can't. There was some place, and it was probably Reddit, a Reddit story, and I can't remember exactly the context in which I heard it, but there was this guy, he was some executive, and he was in this really high up floor office, and new people, interns and stuff would come in, and he would run and throw himself at the window to show how strong it was, and he did this dozens of times, and then one day the window cracked and he went through it and
Is that from a movie?
To his death. No, it's from I think it was a Reddit
a true story.
post. It was a true story.
I know this. I've heard this story.
Yeah.
I almost wanna it almost sounds like a legend,
like an urban legend.
Like an urban legend, right? You know?
We'll hunt it down.
He said,
Yeah, I swear that video, I think he's in like...
in the mirror, and then he jumped out the window.
It looks like he's in a hotel room. So like the way it's laid out, it looks exactly like a hotel room, and he's like, he raped someone, I believe, and they went there to catch him. And I'm sure he didn't really know, like, hotels don't really want people to jump out their windows, so they can be sure that you can't do that.
They don't even want you to open the window. They'll
No, you can't even open them. Like, if you can, it's like
2 inches.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, the window opens just enough to allow a breath of air, but not enough to actually, like air out the room.
They don't want people jumping, obviously.
Like, Roasted is a hotel expert at this point, so.
Act flipping. Yeah, you spend 4 months in the same hotel, and I guarantee you that you get really, really used to it.
Yep.
Roasted, I really want to hop out of the window into the pool.
How do I do it?
That's like the worst window to try to jump out of, is the hotel window. I mean, seriously.
Well, it's not even that. It's like most glass is actually designed to be durable. It's not just breakaway like your cars, which are breakaway for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This reminds me of that 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah, did I tell you all that story about the every time we played Huntsville, something violent happened, and that's where I saw the in the movies when they break a bottle over a dude's head or in his face, the bottle shatters and shit.
Yeah,
that don't happen in reality.
That's like stage glass.
This motherfucker gets hit in the mouth, man. And I see teeth flying, man. It was just like teeth going. It's like crazy. It was like
I've never tried breaking a bottle before. Have any of you?
I've done it.
Yes.
I've done it, but like on concrete and never over somebody's head.
That's good.
There's been several times I've wanted to. Yeah.
Did y'all watch Pan's Labyrinth?
I have.
Asherella?
We did. It was a couple.
You know that
weeks
scene
ago.
where he beats that dude's face in with the fucking wine bottle? It's a very brutal scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy yeah. Like there are. Like that movie, okay, it's very surreal. It's very like magic, I mean, it's got like all this like fantasy stuff, but like it is super violent in a lot of parts. And like the part where like the kind of spy chick who's like with the like rebels or like the revolutionaries or whatever they're doing, like when she cuts his face open, holy crap! Like that is graphic, and it's like oh my god when you see it, Right. There's like a few scenes like that, yeah.
Right on. Checking everything. Looks good. All right. So we're in the pipe, 5x5, fam. So you know how we do things. How's your week been? Beginning with A for Asherella.
Hi, pretty good. It's vacation and holiday week, and I am currently like at my mom's in Virginia right now. Like I'm still doing the Thanksgiving family holiday thing. The best part, well, I mean, it's great, always great spending time with like my family and loved ones. And I only had to work a couple days this week, so that is always awesome. So it's been pretty good. I'm a little tired right now because like I've been up since this morning, and I'm like trying to get energetic for the show.
I guess but
it's good.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! I forgot.
Thanksgiving.
Boomer that shit. All right, Shagan, what about you? See us for Shagan. We like it.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. She did not sleep well right before Thanksgiving, but luckily like could sleep in today, so I'm okay. And like, oh my god, I love Thanksgiving food so much. Like, I enjoyed leftovers today. It was like the best thing ever. Yeah. And we're gonna do it again tomorrow at my parents' house. So
nice.
Yeah. More food that I will eat, probably.
All right, so I'm going to ask Asherella after you, but all right, so what's your favorite Thanksgiving food that you got to have some of? If you get nothing else, you'll get that. You go on.
My favorite
food?
Thanksgiving food.
You have to make me pick? Do I have to?
Well, but if you had to get one and put it on your plate,
Does it count if it's all in a bowl mixed together? Can I pick that?
That's kind of cool. You ever mix cream corn cream corn, mashed potatoes, and fucking dressing together?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't pick. You can't make me.
Okay. Well,
Impossible.
Damn. What about you, Asherella?
Well, okay, so I'm a vegetarian, right? So I don't eat like the turkey, the ham, and the stuff like that. But like holiday desserts, like pumpkin pie and all that stuff. That's just like so good. And also, my cousin makes this like corn pudding. It's kind of like sort of like a corn casserole type thing, and I don't know exactly what's in it, but oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And I love like dressing, like stuffing too. It's all good. I'm kind of like with Chica, and like it's so hard to decide, but yeah.
Sweet. All right, Excel. E is for Excel. How was your week, and how was Thanksgiving?
Well, I already told you, but my dad passed away last Thursday very unexpectedly. Yeah. And I'm not going to harp on that too much. I am going to say my sister took over Thanksgiving, bless her heart. She did a really good job. It was actually one of the best Thanksgiving dinners I've ever had because everybody just kind of brought dishes. And it turns out that all the stuff that I like was the extra stuff that was brought. Like, I'm just not a big fan of Thanksgiving food. I'm not a fan of turkey and whatnot. But I ended up having like ham, green rice, like dessert instead of pumpkin pie, which I'm not a fan of. There was a cheesecake around, and it was a really good Thanksgiving.
Cheesecake.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
I just like food, okay?
Yeah, my
Food's
family
great.
does like there's always like turkey, ham, and like fried chicken at Thanksgiving. That's kind of random, but it's always like those. And then Christmas, it's all of those plus like brisket and like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, no, my family does a really unconventional Christmas. Like we get a shrimp tray from someplace. We usually get we order a barbecue restaurant named Arthur Bryant's, and we get like 10 pounds of meat, and then we just have like bread and like random snack food, cheese balls.
That's
like, everything that's really bad
awesome.
for you. That's what we do for Christmas.
Yeah, well, my mom's house, like my parents divorced when I was like really young, and so my sister and I, we had like so many like family likes to go to because like my parents were divorced and both remarried, and we had grandparents all over and step grandparents and things like that. So we had so many like families and houses where there was like turkey and stuffing and the traditional stuff that like as we got a little bit older, my mom started doing kind of like non-traditional Christmas like dinners too. Like she would make like a big like lasagna and like salad and stuff like that, or like things that were good and everybody liked that weren't like the traditional food, and she still kind of does that. Like like a couple years ago she did like a big bunch of like hot wings and like stuff like that for like Christmas dinner, because we get all that other stuff at all of our other family dinners.
Sweet.
We've like totally gone out to eat at like an Indian restaurant or like Chinese for sure for Christmas. But hey, Excel, sorry to hear. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
by the way.
our like sympathies.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually at my mom's house right now. I'm gonna be staying here for a little bit, so forgive
That's
everybody.
nice.
Like, I'm not gonna be. It's not that I'm living with my parents. It's that, well, I mean, I'm living with my parent that needs to have somebody here. But anyway, she's
a good boy.
If we're on streams and you hear my mom come down, that's why.
She can say hi.
You should give her a headset, and she
Oh,
should
my-
join the show from now
I
on.
was gonna say,
would not-
get all the moms in the house, like on the stream tonight.
She wouldn't shut up. I mean, I'll do it sometime if you want to, but she would not shut up. Like, I'm just letting you know. That's gonna be an entire show. Is my mom talking?
Right.
So.
I smell a ice cream sundae.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm
Yeah,
just
right?
thinking that.
Yeah.
Excel's mom.
Hey, get done to the chat. Hey, get done.
Hey, Kadon. What's up? Man, I see Miles Beats out there. It's crazy. Michael Hatfield. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Straight Sith Mail, Bubonic. Hey, man. Victor Rand, Dumb Beard, of course, on Twitter. And
Twitch?
the Undead Ramen, they're on Twitter. I mean Twitch.
Twitch, yeah, it's hard, dude. I do
it
it
starts
all
with
the
the TW. It's Twi. It's Twi. He on Twi. He on Twi. All right. Twigonometry. The lovely Uzi Q, who made a fucking ridiculous. This all right. So, this Thanksgiving was the first Thanksgiving in a long time that we really did a turkey, and she did an exceptional job. She did it in the Instapot, and her dressing there's so much of it. Thank God, because it is so goddamn good. Good stuff. Yeah. Cream corn and friggin' yams, man. It was awesome. It was like, that's an honor, my folks, because it's some weird shit to eat. But cream corn, yeah, it's my dad's staple. So anyway.
Cream corn.
Yeah. Hi, man. What's up, man? Thanks. It's good to see everybody in the chat. And Miles Beats, he's the guy that wrote the music that opens this show up, man, and closes it. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's badass. I put the little vocoder thing where it says CREEM STREEM in it, but the rest is all him, man. And it's really well put together. I really love the mix on it. Yeah, that bass and just the way it kicks it. It's
time, man.
And I'm not a big dude, not a big hip hoppy kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So, right. So, movie gone. Roasted, how's your week been?
Oh, just outstanding. Truly outstanding. And there's no sarcasm involved in that. No, Thanksgiving is the one time of year, Thanksgiving and Christmas are the bookends to the one time of year when I can reasonably expect all of my offspring, all of the little roasts to gather together in one place. And so all 4 of my kids are here for Thanksgiving, and we are having a blast. I naturally got together with the lovely and gracious Colleen, and we started cooking and kept cooking until we covered up about 8 feet worth of counter space with different foods.
Yeah.
There was almost enough.
Did she make any Yankee fucking seafood thing?
No, we're too far away from the ocean to do Yankee seafood thing. But seeing as my family originally settled in Maryland, one of our ancestral dishes is an oyster dressing, an oyster stuffing, and totally amazing. But it's been really great. I mean, my one of my children has shared with us the lovely story of the guy who took a large turkey and carefully stuffed it with a Cornish game hen inside the stuffing, so that when you split it open, there was, it was kind of like one of those turducken things. Except it was a Cornish game hen, right? He didn't tell anybody that he had done that. He did the big reveal the first Thanksgiving that he did that by slicing open the turkey to carve it, and the stuffing kind of spilled out, and in the process it revealed the Cornish game hen. Well, evidently his sister or his sister-in-law was a little bit on the religious side and started shrieking that they had accidentally committed a turkey abortion.
Oh my God!
Apparently, Colleen's busting my balls in the fucking chat, right?
Birds.
I mean, I don't know how to say it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what a Southerner would say, that Yankee seafood thing. Anyway.
So the best part about this whole story is that she's all freaking out. She cannot possibly eat. And, they feel kind of bad. So unironically, the host says, well, I don't want you to go hungry. Can I scramble you some eggs? She said, that'd be lovely. Thanks. So
oh my God.
he scrambled her up some eggs and serves them to her. And she eats Thanksgiving scrambled eggs, having just lost her mind over the quote unquote turkey abortion.
Did no one try to like explain or be like, "Hey, you know that
They just
egg?"
kept laughing at her. They just kept laughing at her, and her husband was drunk. That,
Oh my god.
as soon as they finished eating, he just wandered over to the kitchen sink and yacked. So,
Oh wow, yeah.
yeah, she was stupid and he was drunk, and everybody else was having a high old
Dude,
time laughing
that
at
ends
him.
up with a lot of babies end up that way. He was stupid and he was, or vice versa. He was stupid and she was drunk. I'm sorry. I had to get the joke in there, though. So, to go for that. All right, Trippy, how was your week and Thanksgiving, sir?
It was good, man. You know, we had a turkey with 47 more turkeys coming out of it. You know, nice clown celebration. Ash is opening stuff on stream.
Sorry.
Here, right through the mic.
And sorry,
She got-
coconut wreath.
Her
I was
microphone
going to say,
is
Asherella, do you eat chocolate?
Yes.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher.
It was a Russell Stover coconut wreath, and they are hard to find this year. So every Walgreens, like I've only been able to find them at Walgreens, and just two, and I bought the whole. They're my absolute favorite ever. I bought all that they had in stock at both the Walgreens, and I only have about like 16 or so because like they have been out everywhere, and they're my absolute favorite. Russell Stover coconut wreaths, they are awesome.
Fair enough. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. We had a good little
You're so
Thanksgiving. I streamed for 5 hours.
You did, didn't you?
I sure did. Virgie came on. A bunch of people came on. It's fun.
It looks fun, dude.
According to what I've been hearing, I guess Tonka was live too.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Good for him. He can still go
Who?
live.
Who was live?
Yeah, that's what I said, dude. When
I didn't
people
know
were like,
Tonka was
"Dude's
still
live."
alive.
Yeah.
What is a Tonka?
I was like, that motherfucker is still.
Is that like the new
streaming?
Christmas
Like,
hype? Is that what I should have showed up to the store for Black Friday for? Is to buy a Tonka?
Yeah. That's the new Christmas
I don't
toy.
know.
Yeah.
I never heard of
Tonka.
it.
Making a comeback.
Tonka, I want Tonka.
Did you guys know that those little
Isn't
wrestler
Tatanka
dudes,
mean the Indian name for buffalo? Tatanka?
those little
Yeah,
wrestlers?
Tatanka is buffalo. Wakantanka is Great Spirit. Yep.
I didn't know that company made those little stuffed wrestlers. I don't know if you guys would remember them. Well, I was a kid when they came out.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Hulk Hogan and all of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were Tonka toys.
remember that Tonka
Was
was
that the-
named after the town it was based in, Minnetonka, Minnesota, which wasn't too far away from where I grew up. So, yeah,
it's
we were
great.
kind of inundated with Tonka shit.
Well,
when I was growing up.
Minnetonkas are moccasins. Like that's a company that makes like really expensive like moccasins and like boots. At least that's how I know that word.
You're making her float
Damn.
around now. I mean, it.
That's what I'm laughing about. She gone.
Now I hear the Undertale music in my head even more.
Man, it's like I've been playing Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's like the fucking giant baby dancing around and we have to fucking kill him.
I have that game, the old Sega version on my
love
retro console. Yeah, yeah.
It's ridiculously fun. I mean, if you want to just like go, like, okay, I've just shot 4 hours, you know. But just remember, all it takes to make the money and the to make the demon tranny go away, be cleansed by the wings of the archangels.
I think you had that right, Irate. The only thing that it takes to make the money go away is the DT.
Maybe I got it backwards, right?
If you turn it upside down, those stinkhorn mushrooms growing out of her head become legs.
Oh, let's see, man. See if I can do that. Lee, look at
Do
this
it.
motherfucker. I think it's one. Whoops. Nope,
It's going to be
sorry.
more horrifying. I know you can do it through edit, transform, or transform edit.
I've done
whatever
it, dude. Yeah, just wait.
Whoa. It's dancing around on screen.
I'm having too much fun doing this shit. Why? Why is that?
It is fun.
All right. All it takes is $1. You know, 5 men buy the.
Oh God, they look like spider legs now or something. Some kind of crustacean head.
Oh,
looks like a crab, right?
It needs that good old 16-bit
That's so scary
console.
now.
You know, it needs that 16-bit console sound when you couldn't have more than 255 of anything.
Right. Yeah, the old MIDI, MIDI.
Yeah.
Looks like a Lovecraft creature, as he says, right?
You can find a bunch of the, like, you know, people take pop songs and things like that and do them in that style.
Yeah.
Hey, the Killing Joke. Did your ex-wife have a penis?
What? What?
He just said my ex-wife to the. I'm just saying.
No, I feel for you, dude. Well, his current wife is a sweet lady.
Oh.
That's good.
Yeah, she's a groover. The killing wife is awesome.
Hell yeah. Both of the killers are awesome.
And she's back to her upright position.
Yeah. Apparently, I had 2 different folders on my computer, both named Art. And within those folders, I had other folders. So I doubled up those, like, multiple folders. And I was wondering, like, why when I open this, or am I missing this, and this? And now I know, because they were in the other version of their own folder. That was confusing how I put that. But yeah, I had multiple folders named the same shit, just in different locations on my computer. Makes me wonder how much I've done that.
Well, all right, so
yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't know what we're going to do about demon training.
She's taken care of.
You think?
He's taken care of.
ASHERELLA tips 5.
Thank you, Ash.
To cleanse our screens and keep tipping irate. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
We need that shit. I'm just saying. All right. So yeah, the blasting flames of the archangels cleanse us of the demon, and
she's trying to dodge the flames.
That's right. Well, she'll be back next week. You know that's right.
Yeah, she always reforms.
Dude, she reformed. Now let's see if they're gone. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Ash. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Right,
Thank you.
Well, all right. So,
that boy ain't right.
That boy, there you go. That's right. Let's go tell Bobby he's fat. Say that, man.
Shit. Hold on. I gotta go get that one now.
Uzi says irate tipping sounds fun.
You need to get the Anderson.
Is she calling you a cow?
One where he goes, "Damn it, put your pants back on. I don't want to see that."
Oh shit. There's a bunch that I could get from King of the Hill.
Yeah,
that was dang it, Bobby. Put your pants back on.
King of the Hill is totally like
no. This was so
quotable.
Anderson from Beavis and Butthead is the same Mike Judge voice that he uses for Hank Hill.
Yeah.
But in Beavis and Butthead Do America, Beavis gets into his camper and is like whacking off, and he's like, Anderson's like, "Damn it, boy, put your pants back on. Nobody wants to see that."
Well, let's go tell Bobby he's fat.
He's fat. That's great. That's just a great.
I love the sigh.
Yeah.
Dang it, those boys.
That's crazy, man.
Those
Lord.
2 boys are still whacking in
There's-
the tool shed.
Mike Judge has created so many great characters. Like everybody
that-
on King of the Hill is like memorable and great in their own way. And like Peggy is so insufferable, and you just like hate her so much. But like the show wouldn't be what it is without her. And then like Beavis and Butthead. Oh my god, I love it. And even like Daria. Like I love it all.
Indeed.
Yeah, it sucks how he's also a rocket scientist, so he didn't have to keep animating stuff to stay alive
Yeah.
and be rich.
Oh, he still does
Oh,
movies
really?
and shit.
Yeah, Mike Judge is literally a rocket scientist.
That's so cool. Like how the Steve Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, was like a marine biologist.
Yeah.
But he decided to animate a cartoon.
I have heard the rumor that SpongeBob was created as an adult cartoon and was pitched as such until they were like, you know what, fuck it, make it for kids, and then we'll pitch it to Nickelodeon.
It's kind of, I mean, I don't know if you'd show it to kids too little, because some of it's kind of scary.
I'd have to introduce you
I
to
don't
a show called Mr. Show, and it had the guy,
Oh.
the voice of SpongeBob on there, and he played so many, like, over-the-top gay characters.
We
It's kind of like Adventure Time, right? Like, it's one of those shows where, like, it's meant to cater to children, but make it so, like, the adults that watch it are...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an
we gotta-
adult and
we
I'm
gotta
obsessed, so sorry, we have to
No,
keep
no.
moving, I think.
No, I said we
Racist
got a
dono.
dono. We got a dono.
Oh, okay.
Tommy.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Time Man tips at 5 and says, "What's everybody's feelings on rum raisin ice cream?"
I don't like
roast.
That sounds amazing. I would eat that.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry because you fucking people with your food.
I want that right now.
Coconut
Holiday and your
raisin,
fucking-
rum raisin.
And your rum.
I mean, I like
I'm getting
rum.
hungry.
I like ice cream. I don't really like raisins, but I'm gonna guess putting rum to the raisin makes it better. So I'm in.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
have a raisin.
I think after the about a couple of spoonfuls, you don't give a shit.
You're like, man, what else?
Fuck it.
Depends on how much rum is in there.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't touch the stuff, so you know.
I can't touch it either.
I don't.
I mean, I can
Hey.
because but it's like I have to be somewhere Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
There was a joke on Rick and Morty where the dad's driving home and he gets pulled over. He hands his ice cream to his wife and goes, "Tell him you were driving." And she's like, "Why?" He goes, "This is rum
I've
raisin."
seen, yeah. Jerry's an idiot.
You guys like had
Jerry-
the sour cream raisin pie before? It's
No.
Yes, they're lovely.
They're so good. I imagine that ice cream is probably just as nice,
Nice.
but
I have
Oh my
not,
God.
but y'all, okay, like I'm in Virginia right now, and we have these gas stations that are like Sheets, and they're kind of, I mean, they're gas stations, but they have like a little fast food, like their own fast food thing in there, and Sheets used to be really awesome, and they've kind of scaled back everything that they carry now, but they have, like, you can get milkshakes that they make in like the little restaurant part, and they had Swedish fish milkshakes.
Oh,
and I'm
dude.
just like, I like Swedish fish and I like milkshakes.
Oh my
but
God.
no,
that sounds
no.
bad.
When you guys mention all this sugary food and shit, I'm like, how I would feel after eating it is
I'm
where my mind
sorry,
goes.
Trippy.
But no,
It's
no, no.
like
You can
the
talk
Sour
about it. I
Patch
don't care.
Kids milkshake or something.
Yeah.
I don't care to
Yes.
talk about it. It doesn't bother me at all. But I'm just thinking, like, what would I feel like if I
I'm
ate something like that?
sorry,
like,
Trippy.
Tippy, do you eat deviled eggs?
Yeah, once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
But you guys don't have to worry about talking about food. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. It's not like you're going to raise my blood sugar by talking about it.
No, but we don't
I'm
want
just
you to
thinking
like
about it.
crave things that you can't have.
I don't really.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, right. It was also good that I was.
You probably have your own, things.
Well, and this is the point where we can start the 2 minutes of hate if we want to.
Okay.
All right? Ace Rash
I have a tiny little A.
All right, well, cool.
Tiny little A.
All right. Ash, you ready?
Yeah.
3,
Okay.
2, go.
Stabbed.
Okay, so I have like two things, and I'm going to try to split it up evenly as I can. Okay, first of all, I didn't know how you guys feel about this, But like I love to shop, and like I am always on the hunt for like a bargain, right? And a few days ago, the Dollar Tree announced that they're raising all their prices from $1 to $1.25, and so it's not going to be like the $1 tree anymore. It's like the $1.25 tree, and that is like the only dollar store that had everything as a dollar still. You know, it was the only like true dollar store left out there. And the one that's closest to where I live, it was a great Dollar Tree because it wasn't just like, you know, junk that was made to be sold for $1. They got a lot of like overstock stuff, and I would get like Physicians Formula, like $15 mascara for like $1 because it was like overstocked at some like pharmacy somewhere, you know. And I mean, it's only 25 cents, I know, but it was like, what does that mean about the future of like the Dollar Tree and dollar stores? And so I was really like devastated and like a little angry that the Dollar Tree is raising their prices to $1.25. And then also, I mentioned this earlier, I am having the hardest motherfucking time finding Russell Stover coconut nuts this year. They only come out 3 times a year. They have like Bird's Nest kind of at Easter. They do Bat's Nest at Halloween, and I wasn't able to find any over Halloween. And then at Christmas they are coconut wreaths, and they are just like, it's like milk chocolate and like toasted coconut, and they're the most amazing things ever. They're like creamy and crunchy, and they're like, if you like coconut and chocolate, it is the best thing ever. I love them so much. They're my favorite holiday candy, and I have only been able to find them at 2 Walgreens in Virginia, and I have been looking for weeks now, and that's really frustrating. So I think that is all. The Dollar Tree raising their prices and the lack of Russell Stover coconut wreaths.
Damn. 2 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah,
you're ridiculous. I'm down with this shit. All right, so here's the deal. All right, you know, some people don't know this, but I am a little OCD, and it comes to shit like symmetry, and you know, things being like on the zero.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
You fucked up, Ash.
No. Even no. It's like it's never. Look, that's just, I know that it's my bullshit, right? So I deal with it, and so, but that was it's like, Shigon, when you were talking about the dude washing his hands, right?
Oh yeah. I don't know what you mean. Okay.
I kind of have a similar feeling about this, so, right? All right, so have you got 2 minutes, Miss Shigon?
No, not really.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
you gotta hate something.
Not even the Dollar Tree raising their prices?
Well, Ash, like, okay, either the Dollar Tree, either their shit is gonna get like way downhill for $1. Okay, like if you want everything for $1, you're gonna find like the worst crap. They gotta raise their prices or something. Okay.
Hey.
Okay. Is that my 2 minutes I hate, I guess?
Is that
fucking fuck Biden. There.
Right. 27 seconds. All right. What about you, Excel?
All right.
You ready?
So,
go.
Yeah, I've had a car in the shop for about 3 months now.
Oh.
I just got it back today. Yeah, the timing belts were off. I got it back. The car was still fucked up. It turns out the camshaft was fucked up. That was all under like my extended service plan, so like I'm not worried about the money. But I got back into the car today and I drove to Quick Trip because it was low on gas, and it said check tires. I get out and my fucking back tire is almost flat. And granted it was a slow leak. I aired it up. Everything was fine. But how the fuck do you give a car back to me with a flat tire when you just finished working on the car that day?
That long.
That is pretty fucking dumb.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I almost drove right back to the dealership and be like, I just had to air my tire up because it was almost flat. Like, what the fuck were you guys doing?
Dude.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to add to mine.
Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry, I'm breaking everything.
You're fine. No,
Right.
you're good.
I think I have about
She's
40
fucking with
seconds
me
left.
now. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, so we like check our mail, and like once the mailbox was like completely upside down, like the mailbox was like detached from the pole and like placed upside down with our mail in it. We were like, what the fuck is going on? And we like just kind of said it correctly and all. And then like 2 weeks later, the same thing happens, but there's like a little note in it, like fix your mailbox ASAP, and it says like in 1 week, and that like includes this whole like Thanksgiving like holiday and everything.
You're
They're like,
kidding.
fix it or you're not getting your mail. And we're like, what? We didn't even do this, and why do you keep putting our mailbox upside down? Like, couldn't you have given us a note like at the beginning? Stupid. Like,
Okay.
what are
The
you
mail
doing?
lady, she's putting a voodoo curse on you, and that's just trying to cover her tracks. Like, she has to
Oh my
put
God.
her head down like every 5 days, and then, you know, the letters facing one way. It's all part of whatever you've done.
I know.
because
I like
mail
when I
people-
opened it up and I tried to like flip it over the right way, and then it opened up and like all the mail went all over the street, and like park kind of close. I like wiggle out, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Weird mail people. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'm done.
You know what? All right, it's 1:29, so you're right at 2 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Dig it, fam. I dig it. All right, Rosa, what about you, man? Ready? 2 minutes and go.
All right, this is a little bit of hate for all of y'all that are out there on Twitter watching these court cases, not actually paying close attention to them, just watching the articles that come out, reading the headlines, and then
Hear, hear.
going absolutely nuts when these verdicts get published. Do you honestly think that you sitting out there on Twitter reading headlines by media companies who are obviously biased about it are better informed than 12 people that are listening to all of the evidence? Come on now. And yes, this does apply both to the folks that went and lost their minds over the Rittenhouse case and those that absolutely lost their minds over the Aubrey case. Come on now. The court systems work. They do work.
Yeah, and
The
I've
people
got-
that are sitting in there listened to all the evidence and came to a logical decision based on that beyond a reasonable doubt. Stop losing your stuff on social media. Stop thinking that you are smarter than the 12 people that were sitting in the room, because someday you may be the one sitting in the room having to make this decision.
Well, I got a hot take on the Aubrey thing, dude. They hunted him down, right?
Oh yeah.
If he had had a fucking AR and killed them, he would be Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
It's
would be
the
the same
exact opposite.
Exactly, it's the polar opposite of what happened in Kenosha. So
Yeah.
and it's like it's the South and shit. It's and there's the dad and the son were both. Dad was a retired cop, and the son had been a cop.
And all three of them, good old boys, are headed to the big house for the rest of their natural born days. No chance of parole. And good on them. That's exactly where they should be, because
Yeah, justice served all around.
any reading of the
good
evidence,
news.
any reading of the evidence on that one is just as much of a gimme as the Rittenhouse trial. That's it. That's all. They were guilty, and they knew they were guilty halfway through the trial when the judge said, "This is the only reading of self-defense in Georgia, and y'all don't meet that standard."
Right.
And even the defense attorney said, "That's effectively a directed verdict, Your Honor." And
Yeah, it pisses
judge
me off.
just like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
but the law says self-defense in this case and citizen's arrest in this case, and y'all don't meet the standards for making a citizen's arrest. So, what do you want me to say? The law says this. We have to go by the law.
Yep.
What's
Roasted.
really
It
fucking
pisses
dumb
me
is-
off so much. I want to drive a red SUV through a Christmas parade.
Oh.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. There's little kids and grannies in Christmas parades, and only a complete idiot would go through a parade.
Absolutely.
Only a complete idiot. Somebody who should be sentenced to life at the end of a taser attached to his balls.
How dare he have like such a long car crash?
According to the media, it was just an accident.
Right.
Well, I mean, look at the guy's media posts about white people being awful and this country wanting to kill them and all that shit.
Yeah, but
You
it's
can
not
tell
like
why he did it.
it's not like any of those things would have motivated him to go out to a mostly all-white suburb during a Christmas parade and run people over.
Ugh.
Nah, none of it. Nope. We don't know what he
Yeah.
or she may have been
Not
doing.
to mention that, but like
Run kids over.
imagine if like things were reversed and the person was white and it was mostly a black community. We know for sure the media would not have brought up race until they had a reason to.
Right.
I know they would have used it to cover up any Rittenhouse news.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like just going back, the story there is not that some crazy fucker did some crazy things, right? I don't think most people that support Black Lives Matter are gonna go to those links to make their point. Like it's just most people. It's not even like most people in that support Black Lives Matters wouldn't do that. It's that most people wouldn't do that, right? And when I say most, like 99.99999% of people. But you get that one crazy fuck, they're gonna do something like that, right? Give them a reason. It's gonna happen. Like it happens every day in this world. The story is not that somebody did something like that. That happens all the time. The story is the way the media is treating it. It's so asymmetrical.
Yeah, I
Like,
love that you
they're-
said that, Excel. Absolutely. Like he shouldn't represent like Black Lives Matter any more than like I mean he's like fucking crazy.
Well,
He's a
all right,
horrible
so
person.
Deborah-
That was a horrible thing.
Do you know who Deborah Messing is? She's an actress. Was on
Yeah,
a show.
Will and Grace, right?
Will and Grace, right? Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and dude, she's a super lefty tard. I mean, big time.
Yeah,
and she
she's
put out a
ugly, too.
tweet telling the mainstream media to get real with this shit and call it what it is: terrorism.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it should
Yeah.
just be terrorism. Like, why we shouldn't like lump it all into like these groups necessarily.
Well, like at the very
But-
least, it was a mass murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they should
It's
call it like it
hard.
is. Like the media shouldn't like politicize everything. Like they're doing. Like they're using all of these like events to push their narrative.
Oh yeah,
It
one
was
of the things- one of
it was
those clips.
a bunch of children too, you know, which is like
Well, no, you're completely right. It's all about pushing a narrative. But the narrative they want to push is that we have a really big problem with MAGA supporters that are just fucking extremists going around killing everybody, which is just not. It's not true. It's not a real thing, right? So that's the narrative. But the counter narrative would be it's like. Turns out that there's crazy fucking people that have ideologies that you would definitely have to call left because you guys are the ones that own Black Lives Matter, not me, right?
Let's be
and
fair.
whenever that person, whenever the person, well, like whenever a person that has been espousing like BLM and Black nationalist beliefs actually does run over a crowd of people, you're sitting there calling it an accident. Like it's not an
Yeah, that's
accident. It's
bullshit.
totally horseshit, and you're doing
Yeah.
it because it would give credence to a counter narrative that you will not support.
Yeah, and if you want to do that, like, well, we would have to call this a hate crime, and he
Yeah,
should be
it's
on the
like-
news 24/7. And
Yeah.
black
And it's like
supremacists.
not
Sorry.
reinforcing.
Hey, can I say I hated some people in the chat real quick? It's good to see Duck Dog, Nostradamus this evening. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Pear to Bear, Victor Rand, Bunny. She don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but she should. I'm just saying, it's pretty goddamn good food. And I see Jim McIntosh. Greetings. And there's Trippy. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, that was me.
All right. So sorry to interrupt y'all.
Oh, hi, Trippy.
Hi.
Hey,
Welcome
Trippy.
to the chat.
That's right.
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right. That boy ain't right.
That's right. That boy's left. Oh.
Clever.
Bobby Hill grew up to be, you know.
Oh, you know he did.
Dude. So
started a smoking habit like Dale Gribble.
Right. All right, so I've got some video stuff, and they're going to be short, and then we'll stop and talk about them. Okay. That's how I'm going to try to do it a little. I've been making too long reels and stuff, and it's just like, and it feels like pressure to get everything done, and it's like I'm
gonna scream over it after about 5 seconds, so do your best.
Okay. All right.
Nobody does that.
Let's try this. All right. Can y'all see that? And while we're doing this, we're waiting for the going into the television room. Everybody get up, pick up your drinks, and move into the living room.
Can I ask everybody a question? Did anybody watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? And
no.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, it's kind of like we always just have it on, on Thanksgiving morning. And over the years, like, the costumes that, like, the float extras wear have just gotten insanely gaudy. Like, they've always been, like, outlandish and flamboyant, but it's like, holy crap, they're so terrible.
What do you think is the takeaway?
Thank you for the update, because I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. Well, now I'll keep you guys updated on everything Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that I can.
See, I could drive a clown car through that parade and not hit anybody.
You could. One day there'll be a trippy balloon floating over Times Square.
I hope. That'd be cool. I was going to say my dick. Okay, just my dick.
The other day I was in Walmart and I needed help in the electronics section, and the kid working back there had a Hatchet Man sweatshirt on, and I was like, oh, hey, you an ICP fan? And he's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And he starts going off, and I was like, yeah, I have a friend that's like a hardcore juggalo.
If you would have said whoop whoop, he would have been your best friend for the rest of your life.
He loved that I acknowledged his Hatchet Man like sweatshirt. And then whenever we were walking away, he was like, y'all stay warm, it's colder than a witch's titty out there. The Walmart associate. Anyway, sorry.
I was wearing a Hatchet Man shirt one day.
Yeah, we're easing into this.
This dude started following me because I was wearing my Hatchet Man shirt, and he was like, hey man, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Where are you going? You like partying? And I'm like, oh my god. And he was like, I see you're into ICP. Whoop whoop, man. Whoop whoop. And then he like followed me across the street and halfway home. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was strange.
I do that with everybody I see in a Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt, but I don't ever see anybody in a Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt. So.
You follow him home.
I would.
Ask him if they like to party.
Yeah, I would.
I think he was trying to sell me crack.
Right.
Well, maybe I'm trying to sell him crack.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Depends on what your definition of is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, Bill Clinton.
That's right. Don't make no fun of me, baby. I just want to sit here and look at them bitches all day long. And just sit back in my chair and do it, maybe. What's happening? Man, I miss old Epstein, man. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, there's that, man. Did you see? All right, so they're gonna like have the trial for Ghislaine Maxwell is going to be like sheltered.
Say it right, Ghislaine.
Yeah, her name's Ghislaine Maxwell. That's right.
I think so. I don't know.
Jizzlaine.
Ghislaine.
Hey, Sparky. Yeah.
Ghislaine.
But so what they're saying is that it's going to be too scandalous.
Yeah, for public, like
for the public, right?
I'm gonna put a picture in the toilet for you, Irate. You can grab it whenever you want. I don't know if you already got it. Oh shit! It came through as a JFIF. Never mind. JFIF or whatever, that fucking file format that never works.
Oh, dude.
Sorry, I have to resave it if at all possible. And then it's just Epstein and Clinton hanging out.
I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. You know, it's like it's a holiday weekend, and usually these shows are real skimpy, and it's nice to see that we've got a solid crowd on Twitch and on fucking YouTube. as well as free on Odyssey. That's right. I'm not even looking at DLive because I really don't give a fuck. But hey, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
There you go. That one will work. It worked.
Right?
Just Epstein and Clinton just hanging out.
All right, let's. You ready to watch a little Brian?
Yes.
Sorry, Becca, you're missing out, baby.
What do you think is the takeaway when it comes to the Rittenhouse verdict and the media?
Well, one of the takeaways is that I think the media dropped the ball. Parts of the media dropped the ball on covering this case from the start because right from the start, there were a couple of things that were pretty immediately obvious. One was we knew what Wisconsin self-defense law was. And the other one was there was a lot of video evidence out there in the public domain. And what the video evidence showed was that Rittenhouse was being chased before he fired fatal shots, that he was knocked to the ground, he was attacked before he fired fatal shots. And if you knew Wisconsin self-defense law and you knew sort of the rules around open carry, then you knew he was going to have a strong defense. But what a lot of people did is they took the foolishness of being there, the recklessness of being there in and of itself. A 17-year-old armed with a rifle going to a riot to social unrest, that's ridiculous. 17-year-olds shouldn't be doing that. And they conflated that with all that followed. And that's a big mistake. That's not how juries look at it. Juries look at the law, they compare the law to the facts. And under Wisconsin self-defense law, he had a strong defense.
I thought it was a peaceful protest.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart.
Honestly,
what
it
was
is
pretty
it?
apparent from the beginning that he had a strong defense.
How much of this is about slogans that were attached early on, like the slogan about crossing state lines? You know,
slogan.
They keep trying to push the whole state line shit. It's bullshit.
Do you get the use of the word slogan is very interesting to me. It's a propagandistic term, isn't it? XL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Brian Stelter's sitting here, like, you know, with his penis head, pretending like CNN was, did a really good job with the Kyle Rittenhouse coverage. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Everything like this dude, like, talked about.
People are starting to give him shit, man, like to his face. And it's embarrassing the fuck out of him. It's embarrassing. CNN's just gone to shit anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this little short part.
and how much this is about information that didn't come out right away, that only came out at trial, that then changed the picture.
No, it didn't.
You know, I think trial fleshed it out, but there were an awful lot of people who knew the contours of the defense early on. The videos were out there early on, and I think there were media outlets who just did a disservice by not noting that Rittenhouse was running away. This is somebody who was not aggressively approaching people; he was running away. Even under Wisconsin self-defense law, there's some modified versions of a duty to retreat, but he was being pursued by the first person he shot very aggressively, and so these kinds of things were not amplified enough, and so that's one of the reasons why I think the verdict took millions of Americans by surprise on its own terms, separate and apart from the question of should he have been there, which I don't think he should have been there. That you don't give a 17-year-old a rifle and encourage a 17-year-old with a rifle to go to a riot. That is not what you do. But those things were being conflated with the legal elements of the crime itself.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Would the president ever apologize?
Stop that. Sorry.
I thought it was
yeah,
supposed to be
legal elements of the crime? There was no crime.
It wasn't being amplified that he was running away enough initially in the media because it didn't reinforce their narrative, you know?
That's
Like,
so roasted.
Look,
they refer to it as a crime.
We've had people like Johnny Walker Dread on Irate Stream whenever we did XD. There's some other people like Via Radio. Logical Checkmate is another person that has been making a lot of videos of this ever since it happened, like going back to August 26th. And if they could have figured out what happened 2 days afterwards, being internet plebs that were just Google searching the mainstream media for like misrepresenting what happened, the idea that millions of people didn't figure out the actual facts until the trial happened, it's all on. I mean, it goes right back to Brian Stelter. It goes right back to CNN. It goes right back to MSNBC.
Yes.
Like, the facts were fucking obvious. And yet, the media was trying to bury this kid based on a narrative because they wanted trial by narrative. Not trial by facts. And, like, that lawyer was right. Like, regardless of his opinions on whether or not Kyle should have been here, that's irrelevant. Which, in a lot of the ways, like, he said that, and I disagree with his opinion, but doesn't matter. It's like, as a matter of law, the Rittenhouse case was the most clear-cut case.
Would the president ever apologize to the acquittal?
I don't know how I did that.
I just want to say the Rittenhouse case is the most clear-cut case of self-defense ever caught on video.
yeah.
And if it wasn't caught on video, who knows? I don't think
and
he
I
would be free today.
Yeah, I was talking to.
I don't know if he
that
would have.
recently.
I actually do not think he would have.
No, I don't
think
either.
If it wasn't
think
on
so
video,
either, yeah.
he would be in jail because
Absolutely.
of the narrative.
Yep.
He would have been
All right.
convicted by narrative.
Listen to this shit. All right, this is
Would the president ever apologize to the acquitted Kenosha shooter Kyle Rittenhouse for suggesting online and on TV that he is a white supremacist?
Well, let's be clear what we're talking about here. This is about a campaign video released
That's
last
a
year
yes or no
that used
question.
President Trump's own words during a debate as he refused to condemn white supremacists and militia groups. And President Trump, as we know from history, and as many of you covered, didn't just refuse to condemn militia groups on the debate stage, he actively encouraged them throughout his presidency. So, what we've seen are the tragic consequences of that. When people think it's okay to take the law into their own hands instead of allowing law enforcement to do its job. And the president believes in condemning hatred, division, and violence. That's exactly what was done in that video.
You're saying that it was just a campaign video. It wasn't. The president also gave an interview where he said this Rittenhouse was part of a militia coming out of Illinois. Have you ever heard this president referring to Trump say one negative thing about white supremacists? These are all things. None of this was proven in the trial. And Kyle Rittenhouse is saying that the president had actual malice in defaming his character. Is that what happened here?
The president spoke to the verdict last week. He has obviously condemned the hatred and division and violence we've seen around the country by groups like the Proud Boys and groups that that individual has posed in photos with. But beyond that, I'll leave it to his comments around the verdict.
And then just one.
Yes, so
Imagine
no, he
that.
hasn't apologized. He was wrong about what he said, and he hasn't apologized, and that's bullshit. And he,
he's not
By
going
the
to.
way, for anybody blaming Jen Psaki for lying on behalf of the president, that is literally what that position does.
That's her
now.
job.
Yeah.
That's her job.
That has been the job of the White House press secretary since the creation of the White House press secretary.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
The
the
job
thing
of the White
about
House
Jen
press
Psaki is
secretary
she's so
to
fucking
lie.
condescending and dislikable.
Well, not
Yeah, I
necessarily
don't like
just
her.
lie, but
To lie without appearing to lie,
spin the narrative, to push the
Too
narrative.
bad at it.
answer a question without actually answering a question, to wag the dog with the tail.
Yeah, that
She didn't do a good job. She did not score any points amongst the people, which they exist. They're out there. That Kyle Rittenhouse was kind of their red pill moment, where they all of a sudden this was thrown into the public eye. They're seeing the evidence for themselves, and they're just like, dude, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, how I feel about a kid having a gun, kind of ancillary to what I'm seeing on video, right? Like, of course you gotta shoot.
Dude, I had a little moment years and years ago, man. Like, I lost one of my little cousins, and the news was talking about how my how his mom, my other cousin, right? They were trying to make it look like she was on drugs and shit. And they were like, "Oh, she won't answer questions. We're at her house. We're knocking. She doesn't want us to know she's home and shit like that." And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't want the news to be interviewing me after I lost my son either.
Aww.
But yeah, that was years ago. That was like 2012, I think. And yeah, a little dude got hit by a car, and they fucking said it was all the mother's fault and all this shit for like a solid fucking week. And then
that's
they just
awful.
went dead on it. They stopped talking about it. But it's like, yeah, that was pretty much my moment of being like, wow, the news really lies.
Yeah.
I told you guys about mine, right? I think I did.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I visited like a house that was there was like a child protection call, and like some kids were missing, and I can't get into details because I don't want to like dox
worry about
myself
it.
here, but like basically like the news, they showed up and they like they just totally botched the whole news. So like I mean I was like in the home myself. So like watching the news report on it, I'm just like, okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's definitely wrong. It was just like everything. I was like, holy shit. Like they got like nothing right. Did they even talk to anybody here? Like, oh my God.
Were they like just making it worse, spinning it for like ratings, or were they covering things up? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like they just heard like one like snippet, and it was like very early on. Like didn't even try to double check anything. It was just awful. And I'm like, if that could happen with such like a small thing, like I can't even imagine. Like so even like so anything that happens like comes out, like I kind of ignore it right away. Because I'm like, I know anything that anyone's saying about it is probably going to be a lie. It's like you can almost guarantee that the news is not going to report on like accurate information.
How it's
So,
going to benefit them the most.
yeah, like right at those like breaking news things. Like you're gonna just grain of salt. That's all. Anyway.
This is red pill moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine was Lee Greenwood singing "God Bless the USA" when it first came out. That was my red pill moment. That's how long I've been running around with the red pill. We didn't even call it red pills back then when I was younger.
That's right.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to go with the next thing. All right.
All right.
The Biden administration could start sending asylum seekers back to Mexico as early as next week after being forced by a court order to reinstate the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy. National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd joins us now. And so, Brandon, jumping right in, is this a good move? It's too little too late? And how quickly will Border Patrol see relief?
That's a lot right there. It is a little too late, but this is something that needs to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of the damage has already been done. But as long as this is implemented, President Trump has already given us the blueprint on how to go about dropping illegal immigration. And if we can do that, if we can drop illegal immigration, we can then go after the criminal aspect, the criminality that exists on the border, and go after the human smugglers, the drug traffickers, and everything that crosses that border illegally. We can then go after that. Unfortunately, again, this is, we're already more than 1 million people into the United States past due on this policy.
Now, as you know, the Biden administration could appeal the decision. Meanwhile, though, is Mexico okay with this?
No, they're not. And that's one of the main issues. That's one of the reasons why it's taken so long. And this court order, this happened months ago, yet the Biden administration has been slow rolling it simply because Mexico doesn't want this to happen. And let's be honest, Mexico looks at their bottom line just like any other economy does. And cartels generate billions of dollars of profit for the Mexican economy. And so if you cut this off, you're going to cut into what the money that goes into that economy and what goes to the stores. So the Mexican government has always pushed back against this. The only reason it happened in the Trump administration is because he threatened tariffs. He threatened to take away more money than the cartels were bringing in. That's why Mexico gave into the Migrant Protection Protocol policy. And that's the reason why Mexico is pushing back so hard right now, because the Biden administration just isn't taking the same steps as what the Trump administration did.
So you're saying the power is in the purse. And plus, I mean, look, I get your point, but we know there are a lot of complexities involved, so it's not as easy and as simple as that. But I'll take your point and move on, because I wanted to ask you about the idea of giving these asylum seekers, illegal immigrants, however you want to phrase it, the option to receive the COVID vaccination, either before being sent back to Mexico or returning back to the U.S. for processing. What do you think about that?
It's extremely important. Right now, if you look at all the people that have been released into the United States, there's no way that we could have forced them to receive that vaccine because the Biden administration did not implement the same policies that he's doing with United States citizens. And so we've released millions of people into the United States without the vaccine. So if they are given that option, then they go back to Mexico and they wait. When they come back into the United States, at least we'll know that they're vaccinated. At least we'll know that they can't spread the virus as readily as what they otherwise could have if they weren't vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to move from the southern border and go up north. So in New York, we've got legal residents in New York talking about green card holders. More than
check this out.
800,000 of them. If approved next month, green card holders in New York are going to be allowed to vote in municipal elections and on local initiatives. I mean, what do you think about this? Could this encourage legal immigration?
Yeah, this is really, really concerning. And that's just one of those things. It's another magnet that's going to draw people into the United States. If they know that they can cross the border illegally.
No. Wait a minute, Brandon, you're missing the point. Green card holders are legal. They went through a process. So I'm asking you if they realize, listen, if you come to this country legally the right way, perhaps you can, enjoy some more freedoms that we have here in our great country.
Arthel, right now the House just passed a bill that is talking about legalizing, giving green cards to all these people that cross the border illegally. What I am saying is any time we incentivize people that are not United States citizens to be able to participate in government, all that's doing is encouraging more people to come, because they recognize that there could be a future amnesty down the road. It's just another one of those methods that could invite people to come.
No, I hear you. I didn't read that. You're telling me the administration is considering giving green cards, like handing out green cards to people who cross the border? That makes no sense. Are you serious?
The reconciliation bill that the House just passed, that just went to Congress, that just went to the Senate. Yes, they're talking about an amnesty for millions of people that crossed our borders illegally. That amnesty is one thing, but giving somebody a green card is another thing. So I want to make sure that we know what we're talking about here, because I'm telling you right now, I'm not familiar. Arthel, I've looked that bill up one side down the other. I have to. And yes, there are pathways for people to become legal. The only way that you can become legal.
You don't want this shit to come out on her to watch.
A permanent resident is through a green card. The green card is in fact called a permanent.
See, she was stemming. She was rocking. Did you see her rocking back and forth?
resident alien card.
I know what a green card is, but Brandon, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you here on this. That I don't think people should just be, you got to come through the right way. Okay, but a pathway is one thing. Pathway is one thing. I'm getting the impression, maybe the wrong impression, that you're saying you show up, it's like, oh, you get a green card, you get a green card. I mean, the pathway is that there's a process to follow, and you have to prove that you have been contributing positively to this our economy and our society.
He's like,
exactly. But again,
You get a
that's
green
one of those
card.
magnets.
You get a
Just
green
because
card.
somebody crosses the border illegally and then comes here and then contributes to society, contributes, pays taxes, that is that pathway. That is the pathway to that permanent resident alien card. And that's what's concerning. Anytime that you open up government to non-citizens, all you're doing is creating another magnet.
But isn't that's legal? That's legal immigration, though. I mean, it's if you don't want people coming over here without going through the process, learning the language, learning the Constitution, answering all those questions, and then again contributing to society. So that's a pathway. Listen,
Maybe I'm not explaining myself real well, but the reconciliation bill that just passed the House is offering legalization, permanent resident alien cards to people that cross the border illegally. It's a magnet, and that's
Brandon. I hear your concern. Nobody wants to have a, quote, magnet to have people illegally come into the country. So I'm going to thank you for now, President of the National Border Patrol Council, Brandon Judd. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to your family. Thank you for joining us on this holiday. Appreciate it. All right, take.
God damn! All he was saying was people can come over illegally and then be turned legal later.
It's
it's
the bill they just passed, y'all. It's the paid for bill.
That I am infuriated for that guy.
Oh, shit,
She
hold
wouldn't
on.
listen to anything he was saying. Huh.
Unknown archive tips, $50. Love you. Love you too, man.
Love you too, bro.
Big hug.
Damn, son.
Oh, hey.
One of these days I will live
By
in
the way, I
that
love
weird-
you, UA. In fact,
We all love you, UA.
If you have the Discord, you should hop in.
I was gonna Johnny Hellcat hop in.
Yeah, I was saying hi to him. I didn't know he was P-Dog Knight's first viewer, apparently. He's so special.
Who is?
Oh, you know P-Dog Knight?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yeah,
Yeah, Johnny
Marty,
Hellcat was his first viewer, apparently. I just learned that today.
Yeah, I busted Johnny's streaming cherry. So
I would love to run into P-Dog Knight because he lives in Minnesota, so that'd be like really cool if we just stumbled on him in a pizza joint or something.
yeah, he's a mellow dude, man. Definitely. All right, so we're
Yeah.
gonna move on. All right, now. All right, so we learned about some of the stuff that's inside that bill. They just passed, just went to the Senate.
We got infrastructure passed in the House. Time for Build Back Better. That's what I'm about. So, Mr. President,
Oh, God.
your house down the grounds. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm a bill with critical and historic investments in childcare, healthcare, climate care, immigration, and more. And it's all paid for. So come on, let's do this. You better pass me.
Well, what'd y'all think about that? And it's
Wait a
all
minute.
Paid for. It's paid for
Seriously?
by you.
Didn't that guy just die?
That's
That
a
wrote
leg-
it?
I don't know. That's a legit thing. That's for real.
Build back.
Okay, I might be wrong here. Maybe I need to do some fact checking, but my dad told me that the guy that wrote the original song for Schoolhouse Rock just died, and he's from Minnesota.
Oh,
So, like, that would
really?
be really sad if they just, like, did that.
Yeah. They just took a
Um,
shit on Schoolhouse Rock.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to look this
Yeah,
up.
okay. Oh dear.
I'm
Oh
just
dear
a
indeed.
bill.
I'm telling
Can't
you.
just be
Man.
Oops. Sorry. I forgot that had that in it. It was supposed to be just a clip of Hank Hill going, "Oh my God, it's all farts." Bathroom sound.
I'm just a bill. I'm just a bill.
That was Dave Frischberg, and yes, he passed away on the 17th.
Yep. I was just looking it up too. Yep. Recently. So he just died. The guy that wrote it.
So they've all
So
got Scandinavian and
Man.
German names up there. It's like
Have you ever been to Minnesota, Irate?
Oh yeah.
He's from
You can't
St.
throw
Paul.
a rock without hitting somebody with Norwegian roots. I mean,
right?
It starts in Iowa. The Norwegian starts in Iowa and it proceeds all the way through Minnesota. Man.
You know, there's three ways: the right way, the wrong way, and the Norway. That's what they say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like extra mad now.
Why?
Ugh.
That's rock.
All right. Wow.
Why?
A guy that was born in 1933 died in 2021, and you're upset? And he had a good long life.
No, that monstrosity.
Oh, for that, that little cartoon?
Like he just died.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Right. Well,
like
see,
Creator of SpongeBob just died, and now they're having spinoffs.
They're saying this is
Yeah.
paid for,
Oh.
but that's so deceptive. The truth is that inflation is one of the most common things that people are going to be hit with, right? And who's going to get hurt by that shit the most? The lower class and the lower middle class, and the middle class up to the upper middle class. Upper middle class and upper class will be fine. They'll be able to pay $5 for a fucking gallon of gas. So, but everybody's paycheck just lost value.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
it's not. It's because we are naturally coming out of a depressed state. It's not because he canceled all the drilling leases that were just auctioned off.
No.
It's not because he canceled the construction permits on pipelines, which are the safest and most effective way to transport fossil fuels. No, it's because of the natural cycle of things, and Americans are just going to have to get used to it, and it's just another round of the whole you didn't make that, and don't expect to see those manufacturing jobs come back. They're gone. Learn how to code. It's another round of that all over again.
Right.
Sorry, I triggered myself.
Well, I mean, we were what? We were energy independent, and now we're energy dependent.
Oh, yeah.
The fuck kind of a backwards bullshit, man.
Well, remember that the crash on the price per barrel of oil paid on the Venezuelan economy, because Venezuela was used to export practically everything plus oil. Got down to the point where they were only exporting oil, and they were importing practically everything else. And then the price per barrel of oil crashed because Donald Trump got sick and tired of us being dependent on foreign oil.
Yeah.
And that killed the Venezuelan economy.
Your tweet was like so great, Roasted. I saw that. I retweeted you.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Your line of reasoning. Just laying it out.
Just keeps on. He's the gift that keeps on giving. He keeps on saying, "Hey, Build Back Better, and if we will make historic investments in infrastructure." Yeah, dude, I read your bill. There's very little actual infrastructure in it. There's a whole bunch of social programs in it.
Yeah,
but social programs aren't infrastructure.
Well,
childcare is not
you said
infrastructure.
potato. I mean, come on, dude.
Seriously, I mean, that just doesn't work that way. You don't get to declare that it's infrastructure when it's not actually infrastructure. You have to actually show that it's infrastructure. Enhanced benefits for people on unemployment is not infrastructure. Infrastructure.
I mean, isn't that like how
is
most bills are,
enhanced-
though? I mean, there's always going to be some other like random fucking thing in there. Let's do this
I've
too.
maintained for a while. I've maintained for a while, and I think Tater Ritter agrees with me on this because we've discussed it a couple times. Every single bill that's introduced in Congress should be read aloud from cover to cover. Every last word in that bill should be read aloud on the floor of each house before they can debate it and vote on it. And while those bills are being read, every member of that house should be required to be present. They should do a quorum call to read the bill. I guarantee you that you will have no more 1,400 page bills that we have to pass
Hey,
before
man,
we
That
can
sounds
find
like
out
a
what's
really
in
good
it.
Those
idea.
lazy motherfuckers, man, like half of them are still not showing up. Right? They're still doing remote
yeah.
shit. Fucking
It's
lazy.
terrible. What Roasted is just talking about has been brought in front of the Senate floor and Congress before, right? The idea of this Read the Bills Act, where
Right.
all you're asking is that, like, you read the fucking bill, whether
Right.
you do it in Congress or you
Read it
allow
into the
for
record.
a certain amount of time before you can actually vote on it, where the bill is made public. And a lot of this came like right after Obamacare, where the bill came out and they voted on it 3 days later, and it was,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the longest fucking bill ever.
Yeah, if they write like this insanely
And
large
half
bill,
the shit
like you
that
can't
bill, they
expect
got
like them
overturned
to
by the
read.
Supreme Court. Yep.
Who's gonna read like 200 pages before they want to like vote on it and like read every single line and understand every part of it? Like it's so easy to sneak something through. It's all political and shit.
It's like 1,000 pages. Like it's thousands of pages, oftentimes.
That's ridiculous. Like no one can read all that. Like, yeah, you have to read
You're
that.
counting
You
on
you
that.
have to read that yourself if you want to bring it to the floor. You read that whole fucking thing. Yeah.
It gets worse because a lot of the language that's contained in these bills, and I can confirm this because again I've sat down and tried to read these bills as often as possible to understand what they contain. A lot of the language you have to actually have like a justicia up on your computer so that you can look at the statutes that they're referencing, because it will be like a paragraph that says in so much as pertains to subsection 4A of 28 USC 474, paragraph 7 is modified from this, and then they'll list a paragraph to this, and then they'll list another paragraph, and it'll be like 2 commas changed in placement.
Yeah, to really understand the bills, you have to have a lot of time to read through every page. So it's one of those things like you can't even explain to people. Or like, I'm a right-leaning person, sure, but I can explain to people that like, have you read Obamacare? Of course you haven't. I know you haven't. You have no idea what's in that bill.
Right.
Like you have no idea what the
Yeah,
consequences of all the actions of that bill are. Yet you are so into the team sport that you think that it's a good idea. And I'm telling you, like, please, leftist, get back to the idea that you question your government, because you stopped. You stopped a long time ago.
I gotta admit, like I've never read like a bill from beginning to end. Okay.
A short
I mean-
bill these days is 250 pages long.
It's crazy. Yeah.
You know
Because-
what? This is
because
their
the-
job. This is what they're supposed to do.
I do need to
Like,
mark
do you
up-
sign papers before you read them? Yeah, oftentimes you do. If it's,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, well, I always
But it's
tell
your
people-
job.
I don't know,
like
man.
I work in rental property, and I always tell people like, read your lease, read your contract, read read what you're putting your name to. People don't do that. It's just kind of like a side thought and a side note, but like know what you're signing.
Right.
I read my lease.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. They could put some really weird fucking shit in there, like to throw
Yeah.
people off, and then like
Seriously, and
It's
like
good
people
not
don't.
to have a
Like, I
lease.
see people
Like-
daily. They're just like, show me where to sign, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I could put like, you know, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. you have to dress up like Shrek and stand on your balcony and wave to
Right.
the neighborhood children. And if it's in the lease and you signed it, like you got to do it, or you aren't in compliance. And like,
well,
people
like
don't
let's
even
look
think
back
about
at the
that.
paperwork. Did you do this? Did you dress like Shrek? No, I don't
Yeah.
think you did.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Evidence. Well,
Asherella, I need to step back a little bit because legalese has actually gotten so complicated that a lot of lay people, and I consider myself as above average intelligence, but when I'm reading through stuff like that, like I've got to look up the laws of the land. Like they'll
Yeah,
throw
like-
shit in leases that are not even technically legal, right?
Well, it depends. Like, and and like I work for like professional property management, right? And like,
Well, and they're not going to do that. But I'm
Yeah,
saying like
exactly.
somebody could. right? And
Oh,
you would not know
absolutely,
better.
yeah. And you wouldn't. And like, you know, I always encourage people, like when I have somebody that's like, you know, coming in to sign a contract, like I offer to send them a copy like ahead of time to encourage them to like read through it. And then anything that they don't understand, any questions that they have, you know, like bring them to me. Like, you know, like I don't, you know, and just maybe it's because like I just how I feel about like doing business with people. It's like, I want you to feel comfortable about what you're agreeing to, because, you know, we like, I mean, I am holding up my end of, you know, this contract, and we expect you to do the same. And, you know, if you sign something you don't understand, that's, you know, I mean, like, I don't feel comfortable having people sign things that they don't totally understand.
Yeah, Ash, so
you know?
I work with like did code enforcement stuff. So I work with like tenants and landlords, and there's a lot of tenant landlord disputes I've gotten into. I've been subpoenaed before over a mold case, and we don't want to get into like the civil stuff.
We have,
but like there's things like little things like if a tenant doesn't mow their lawn, if the tenant doesn't like mow their lawn, like technically like any kind of violations on the property, anything that happens, it will go back to the property owner. So unless the property owner like writes it in their lease, like you have to do this, you have to do this, then the landlord is technically responsible. So like if like a tenant doesn't mow their lawn, if they're just like, fuck that, I'm just never gonna mow it, then we're gonna bill the property owner, and then it's up to them to figure it out. Right. And so there's like so many things like that. Like,
well, you know,
like,
it varies from like state to state, different like certain, you know, rental property law just in general. But you like, it's crazy the amount around here. Like I said, I work for like a professional property management company, but there's a lot of like people that own like a few houses and they like rent them out like themselves. And those are the people that you really run into that think like, oh, I own this property, I can make them do whatever I want, you know, I can put whatever I want to in a lease, like I can, you know, this and that, and like, you know, they don't know, and it's not. It's not
tenants have a lot of power too. Like
They
there's
do.
like a lot of power just like live in the home, and like it takes a lot to evict people, and like when they couldn't evict anybody, it have to be like a safety or life issue. And so I mean there was like one case where I had someone that they like tore out all of their like outlets, and they tore off their like carbon monoxide detector, and then like the rental guys were trying to get in to fix it, and like the landlords, and they wouldn't let them in, and so they got a warrant, and then they like evicted them because of it, because they wouldn't let them fix.
But
that was like a weird case. Like normally you can't get evicted for almost anything. Like you can't. You know.
Yeah, well, COVID world has been really weird. We actually did have one eviction that we got through during the height of like all of the Brovid things, and I know we don't want to talk about that too much, but you know, like the contract that my company uses, you know, the actual like rental contract is only like 9 pages, but there is like 40 pages worth of addendums that they have to sign that really like go into detail and specify like every section of the lease. Like there is a mold and mildew addendum. There is like a bed bug addendum. Yes.
So like cockroaches and like mice are attracted, and like flies, like so they are attracted to like the conditions in the home. So like you could like bring them in accidentally, like you can bring in cockroaches accidentally, but like they will survive in the home given like the situation, and like you have to work with the landlord to get them treated. So you have a job as a tenant to like clean properly or like set things up before they treat. Bed bugs are very special because it does not matter how clean or dirty you are, and you can have bed bugs.
You have to heat treat them. You have to like I've had one situation in which I had to like have somebody like come in and treat for bed bugs, and they trucked in these big like propane heaters. Like you had to remove anything basically like wax.
I don't even want to think about it.
Out of the rental. You know, they basically heat the house up to like 140 degrees and leave it there for like 4 or 5 hours.
They do a chemical treatment also, but you can't kill bed bugs. With
Okay,
just,
well, like,
spray.
so the exception, like, getting bed bugs is if you, like, can prove that the tenant, like, brought in furniture or something, like, off the street.
Yeah, that's what,
like you,
the
you
case that I
intentionally
had,
brought in some shit that.
Yeah, the guy had a love seat that
Sorry,
he brought from his aunt's house, and the exterminators came in and they found the source. Like, they found where they were coming from or coming, like, out of, and it was this piece of furniture that the the tenant had brought in. But like the company that I work for, we have a whole like addendum that goes over bed bugs, and like, you know, you are agreeing to inspect all your furniture, all of your bedding, all of your like soft fabrics, anything bed bugs could live on before you even bring it into the apartment. And then if you do, after that, you know, we get to pick the professionals that go in to, you know, evaluate and determine, it's very, very thorough regarding that. Like, and once you agree to it, you know, and it's always
real quick, I'm gonna interrupt. I'm actually on an earlier schedule because I'm staying with my mom.
Oh no!
Than I usually was. It's 12:30. I'm gonna get off of here for a little bit, but thanks for having me on. And ASHERELLA, Chigon, Roasted, Trippy Poop. It was a pleasure talking to you guys.
You too, man.
Good night,
brothers.
You're always awesome.
Yep, take care, all.
We just totally got off subject. Also, my apologies.
Yes, sorry, right.
I do that bad. Trippy is bad to do that, but we can drag Chigon off onto a tangent
I started
too.
it this
Yeah, you
time.
like got me into a thing. I'm sorry.
I thought it was completely like totally interesting. So I think everybody else, I think you got like 25 people
It's
watching.
good to have Roasted back into the dynamic. To be honest.
I'm gonna get off here. I'll talk to you guys later.
I started it.
Nice.
Yeah, Roasted started
Later,
it.
All right. So, all right. So let's keep rolling. We got the Pie Man tips $5. Tough crowd. What about rum raisin and walnut ice cream? Fuck yeah, it's a winner. It was a thing in the 80s. Pup roast everybody's. Even the Tripster and my friend Nancy. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and to all a trippy night. Well,
Puff bros.
puff roast, Mr. Tie Man. As a matter of fact, I was muted.
Oh shit!
During some of that, and I may have puffed and prosted, not prosted, but puffed. Okay.
Well, let's go tell Bobby he's fat.
I'm telling you. All right. So I got a little bit more shit to watch, and we may like just the rage factor may like increase for a little bit. Let's see what we got coming.
Good morning, Kristen. Today, the President and First Lady are expected to bring some holiday cheer here to Nantucket by attending the island's tree lighting ceremony that kicks off the Christmas season. The President did spend part of his Thanksgiving holiday greeting Coast Guardsmen who were stationed here, and he also held that virtual Zoom-style call with members of all 6 military branches who are stationed in the U.S. and around.
Yeah, he asked that one guy, that one sailor, he said, are you the guy that can suck it? I'm just saying. You know, the man from Nantucket.
What?
Right?
Hey,
you know corn pop? Yep. Can you suck it? I don't know.
Around the globe to thank them for their service. The Bidens do have long ties here, celebrating most Thanksgivings on Nantucket for 40 years. Now, we know the president likes to emphasize his middle-class roots, but during this stay, the family is staying at the 13-acre, $30 million compound that is owned by private equity billionaire David Rubenstein, who made it available during this visit. Kristen?
Well, Kelly, President Biden has a little bit more vacation time, but as he wraps up his Thanksgiving break, he's going to head back to Washington with some pretty big issues on the agenda. What are you looking at?
For sure. He'll go back this weekend, and there are big challenges waiting back in Washington. And, of course, a top priority will be trying to get his social spending package through the Senate, and we know the White House acknowledges that will be tough to do. Plus, the country reaches a new debt ceiling borrowing limit. That happens before Christmas. And the administration is grappling with how to deal with inflation, just as Americans are working on their own shopping lists. Kristen, Peter?
All right, Kelly O'Donnell in Nantucket. Kelly, thank you.
Y'all ever watch the show Wings?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's Nantucket.
Good old Nantucket. All right, so let's go to this next thing because I know y'all are gonna have some fifis.
This year marks 400 years since English pilgrims in the eastern Wampanoags allegedly sat down and broke bread. The meeting, now known as Thanksgiving, is an annual holiday celebrated by many Americans, but not all. Flip open any children's book about that day, and you'll read about the hard-scrabble pilgrims who landed on mostly uninhabited land, and thanks to Native Americans, festooned in feathers, they survived and celebrated that feat around wild turkey and corn. Except that's not how it happened. As the Washington Post recently noted, the Wampanoag, a name that means the people of the first light, have lived on these lands as far back as 10,000 years, far longer than any American. By the time they had met the Pilgrims, their community had already been devastated by an epidemic brought to their shores by previous English settlers. So in 1620, when they watched Mayflower strangers invade their land, they thought they would try things differently. And by the spring of 1621, they made contact. In the fall of that year, the Pilgrims, who struggled through a harsh winter and learned how to plant beans and squash thanks to the Wampanoag, celebrated the success of their first harvest. They didn't think to invite the people who helped save their lives. Bet you didn't know that, because they don't tell you that part in the textbooks. In fact, the Wampanoag showed up later, only after the Pilgrims fired off their muskets. Naturally, the Wampanoag heard the gunfire and thought war was afoot. Realizing that wasn't the case, they wound up sitting down with the people who would become their...
Where did she get that? I'm just saying.
Hey, and guess what? You know what? Like, the Pilgrims, they were dying of smallpox and other diseases also.
Yeah, well, before that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they...
colonizers. For many indigenous people, Thanksgiving is not a day to be celebrated, but rather a day to be mourned. Because while we gorge ourselves on turkey and stuffing, for Native people, that day represents the start of hundreds of years of genocide, colonization, disease, and forced indoctrination of children stolen from their parents and forced to abandon their language and their culture in government-run boarding school. With me now, Dana Hedgepath, Washington Post reporter and member of the Halawa Saponi tribe of North Carolina, and Brian Whedon, chairman of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. Thank you both. I really appreciate you. I want to start with you, Dana. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. Why did you write that piece? What prompted you to do it? There have been a lot of attempts, I think, over the years to sort of reimagine and sort of rediscover what Thanksgiving ought to be. What prompted you to write this piece?
You know, it came about from
reimagine. Does that mean to assess the truth? Reimagine? Doesn't imagine like involve creativity?
Yeah,
Does that mean that imagining
is a reboot?
Or you take an idea and you rethink it, you reshape it.
New World Order.
White people, colonizers, murderers, genociders.
I didn't do that.
Didn't do what?
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, she was like, "Don't look at me."
Yeah.
Good editor at the Washington Post.
No. She. Her point is that all this shit's in the past. We can't you can't change it.
Yeah.
You have to look at it and accept it and move the fuck on. But you're going to hear what's really the crux.
Robinson, and we were chatting. She said, "How do you celebrate Thanksgiving? I'm Native American. I'm from the Halawa Saponi tribe in North Carolina." And I sort of chuckled and said, "You know, we don't celebrate the same way you do. Thanksgiving doesn't mean to Native Americans what it does to many others in the country." And so that got us thinking, what's the best way to tell that story? And the 400th anniversary brought about a great opportunity to do that. I was very fortunate to meet Chairman Whedon through introductions and to really listen to their side of the story that, as you said, is so often not shared.
Yeah, and you know, Chief Whedon, I think that's an excellent point, because I think there is an American tick of sort of looking at the arrival of Europeans here as just a triumph, right? A triumph of will, a triumph of the Mayflower and the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria, sort of whitewash the fact that there were people here. And then to take those people and just make them, well, those were their friends, and they gave them corn, and then everybody did Thanksgiving. And to wipe out really what was a really tragic history, including for the Wampanoag, of, you know, encountering European settlers getting wiped out by disease, maybe smallpox or whatever germs they were carrying, and then encountering them again, and then being colonized. How do the Wampanoag look at Thanksgiving, and what would you be doing on that day?
I think first and foremost, it's important to understand that the Wampanoag people have always been welcoming. One of the reasons why we didn't wipe out the English was because they brought their women and children. We never brought our women and children to fight into battle, so we thought that they had come in peace. It's kind of, you know, ignorant bliss on our side, I guess, and we were, you know, more welcoming. And
it looks like he'd been puffing on that peace pipe.
You know, taught them how to grow their corn and their
just a little bit
crops and to stay here. We've always been welcoming people, and we still are welcoming people. It hasn't really worked to our advantage over the past 400 years. We're now witnessing another pandemic here in the nation with COVID. You know, so all the diseases that come through, we're still having diseases and these problems still today. I would say that, you know, Thanksgiving is a day of mourning. The fact that our tribe only owns half of 1% of our ancestral territory, and 400 years later, you know, we're still waiting for our fair share from the federal government and the Commonwealth, I think is pretty unacceptable.
Yeah, and you know, I was just looking at Dana Hedgepath, you write about the division of land and taking what had been vast lands that the Wampanoag had, dividing it up into like 60-acre chunks and defying the culture of these great people who didn't divide land that way and tax it that way. What did you discover about how life has changed for this tribe in the, you know, centuries since, and how much of that culture remains? And I'll ask both of you that question. I'll ask you as somebody who just finished doing this piece.
Well, they are alive and strong. As the chairman said, very welcoming people. And as Frank James, who's a very well-known Wampanoag activist who made a very famous speech in the 1970s, who was dejected, in fact, from giving that speech publicly at the time. But perhaps the best line from his speech was, "Befriending the Pilgrims was perhaps our biggest mistake." Just if you think about that and let that resonate for a moment, it did open up a long, slow, painful process of genocide, taking of lands, taxation, ownership, things that were the antithesis of the very culture that American Indians and the Wampanoags especially prided themselves in.
And Chief Whedon, you're young. You're only 28 years old, so you're a young man who's growing up, both within your tribe and in your culture, but in this country. And I wonder what
She keeps calling him chief. He's not a chief.
do you say to people who just want to move on, who just want to do the tomahawk chop at an Atlanta Braves game, who are like, why are you making such a big deal out of that? Why can't we just do Thanksgiving the way we want to? Including some younger people who don't want to deal with this history and especially don't want to deal with anything like reparations.
I think it boils down to this nation. I mean, look at all the monuments and all these people that we, classify as heroes in our founding fathers. When you actually look into the history of what these people did, President Lincoln was one of the ones who had one of the biggest massacres, of Native Americans in his time. And he wanted to bring the nation together, so he decided to make this a holiday. I think that the country and the nation has played their part. And we don't do a good job at putting out the accurate information. It's very one-sided. And that's why we're here today, to put our story out there so that we can bring awareness to this issue. I think that it's ignorance on a lot of parts. But as young people, I believe that it's our generation that will make that change and start uniting our nation.
Dana Hedgepeth, thank you for writing this very important piece. Hopefully everyone will read it. Brian Whedon, Chairman Brian Whedon, more accurately. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
He's a chairman.
Yeah, you stupid cunt. She's calling him chief the whole time. Oh my God, that is oh my God.
And the choice of the term
totally
is like Chairman Mao. It's like socialist and shit. They're talking reparations. It's like, it's just like what Chagon was saying, man. It's like, I didn't do that.
Yeah, no, it's not like I don't feel bad for some of the stuff. I mean, absolutely. We introduced alcohol, which they clearly are not capable of handling, just on their genetics. So it kind of fucked them up. We didn't know where. I mean, we didn't. The treaties. If they wrote up the treaties, we should have followed them. I'm in agreement. If we made an agreement way back when, we should have done it.
They but didn't read the contract.
That's right. No.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sure. Was it?
Well, this is the end of this anyway.
Appreciate you for being here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a couple of things to say just regarding that really quickly. Okay, I live very close to the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indian Reservation, where I live in North Carolina. And, I've had lots of, enrolled tribe member, people in my life and friends. And I've absolutely, 6 years ago last week, my father passed away. And so I was home the week before Thanksgiving, so I wasn't able to be home for Thanksgiving that year. And I absolutely had Thanksgiving dinner with Cherokee, enrolled members of the Cherokee tribe. So to say that, Native American people don't celebrate Thanksgiving in, the, modern traditional way is just totally untrue. And I don't know. I just, I think, I said this last week about how I am so, people are, so sensitive, and people are trying to make up for, past mistakes or perceived past mistakes with, action of right now, and it's just not gonna work. There's nothing we can do that's gonna change anything in the past right now. So, I don't know. It's people, dwell in the past, and we just have to, move forward, it doesn't matter how you feel about anything. Nothing, really nothing you can do is going to change history. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work.
So even if this fucking, socialist utopia comes to pass and shit, there's still going to be somebody, man, that's living in squalor.
Yeah, right?
There's always, right. It's going to be really, what the deal is with socialism, and time has bore this out. All right, over and over and over again. It doesn't ensure equity among people. All it means is that everybody will be equally miserable and poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And that's that. But see, even under the socialists, there's always these greedy motherfuckers that are like, yeah, well, hold on, I need that, right?
I mean, like the people that are like really pushing for that, they have their own land, they have their own property, and usually they're making a lot more than the average person in the United States.
Right.
So I mean, like, unless you're like willing to give up all your shit,
It's
I
not
have
like
nothing.
yeah, and it's not the paycheck to paycheck people that like really like, you know, like want to push that type of agenda. I don't know. I just think like I am like, you know, I always say it like joking, like I am like Daddy Warbucks level capitalist. You know what I mean? It's like I want to have every opportunity to be as like comfortable in my life, be it like financially and otherwise, as possible. And like I don't want there to be caps on how prosperous and successful I can be. And that's what it like, I don't know. But I totally agree. I think that like, you know, there's always going to be people struggling and going without in every, you know, like I mean, socialism, communism, you know, I mean there are people going without no matter what.
Yeah, I just want to read something from the chat. Tater Raider said, if you were born in the Americas, you're a Native American.
Yeah, that comes from Russell Means, American Indian activist.
I was about to read that. She gone out of my mind.
I jumped on it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Tater has some great thoughts.
I was going to say he's
really
especially based tonight, man. He's like rolling. He's rolling on that shit.
Yeah, I'm a Native American. Yeah, you could call me that.
What?
Going by
I'm
that.
native to the Americas.
I was born in the Americas.
Right.
Yeah, that was the big start of the great renaming of all the minority groups in the United States when they said
First
that
Nation.
we couldn't call
First Nation, Canada. It's called First Nation.
Nations. Yeah, First Nations people.
Yeah, we started with that, and then we started renaming every other minority group in North America to something that made it sound more politically correct, which I never really did get, because there were perfectly serviceable names for groups. You know, people from Vietnam were called Vietnamese. You know, immigrants from Vietnam were called Vietnamese, and after they've been here for a little while, they became naturalized citizens. Now they're Americans, but they're Americans from Vietnam, so they're also, you know, Vietnamese. You know, that's their culture.
Don't get me on African American, because
all right, so we need to
Don't even get
we
me
need to keep
started.
rolling with the. All right, so all right,
Sorry.
all right, let's go.
All right, fellow babies, and now it's time to go to our live remote man on the scene at the Pinedale Shopping Mall for the big WKRP turkey giveaway. So, take it away, Les Nessman.
This is Les Nessman, your man on the scene here at the Pinedale Shopping Center, where the excitement is mounting. We're here to witness the big WKRP Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway. Hey, you got permission to be out here? What? You're blocking my store here, buddy. Don't you know who I am, huh? I'm Les Nessman. I won the Buckeye News Hawk Award last year. Good for you, Buckeye. Now get out of my doorway. I'm sorry. Freak. So far, so good, huh? I'm here with hundreds of people who have gathered to witness what has been described as perhaps the greatest turkey event in Thanksgiving Day history. All we know for sure is that in a very few moments there are going to be a lot of happy people out here. Now the crowd is curious but well behaved. And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way. A helicopter? It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner. And it says, Happy Thanksgiving. From WKRP. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen. What a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object. Perhaps a skydiver plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air.
Are you gonna whistle?
The third.
Load when it hits the ground.
There's no parachutes yet. Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but oh my God, they're turkeys! Oh, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes. One just went through the windshield of a parked car. This is terrible. They're always running around pushing each other. Oh my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Running about, the turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this anymore. No, I can't go in there. Children are searching for their mothers, and oh, not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd.
Les, are you there? Les isn't there. Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Les. You just tuned in. The Pinedale Shopping Mall has just been bombed with live turkey. Film at 11.
No, they do something like that in the South.
Hold on, listen
in
to,
some places.
Listen to what this guy says. He's the boss, okay? And the guy behind him is the salesman named Les Nessman. The boss.
That's Herb. Les is the
no. I'm sorry. Yeah, Herb Tarlak, right? And the boss is the guy that owns the place. So listen to what he says.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Back when
They
TV
actually
was
do
fucking
turkey
funny.
trots like that, where they will drop live turkeys out of airplanes and helicopters all over the South. I've actually went out and caught the turkeys before, and the important, Yeovil,
South. I've never seen that.
Yeovil, Arkansas does a turkey drop before every Thanksgiving, and they're dropping live turkeys. Thank God, because if the turkeys are actually, they don't trim their wings to unbalance them so that they won't fly off, they actually can fly just fine. They glide in and you can catch the turkeys. And the only problem is that you're catching live turkeys, so you have to go get them slaughtered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you gotta go cut their head off.
Shit. Yeah.
But I've seen somebody try to do a turkey drop like that where they were actually pitching frozen turkeys out.
Oh my God.
That actually went worse than the WKRP bit.
Yeah, but that's a classic. That's a classic fucking bit, man.
As God is my witness, I thought they could fly.
That was a funny fucking show, man. And then the what was it? Talk radio, with Joe Rogan was in with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. And Phil Hartman. Jesus.
Oh yes, I really like that show.
That is
I've watched
funny
it on
as
reruns.
shit.
It's like Phil Hartman and the weird Andy.
Andy
Tall
Dick.
blonde guy Andy Dick was on it,
Right.
And Kathy Griffin, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
That's a show that he was on when his wife decided to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was horrible. Yeah, tragic. Cocaine. It comes full circle there, Roasted.
Tell him Jug.
That's right. All right, so all right, I think it's time. Let's go ahead and shell because we're near the top of the hour. We're just going to go ahead and slide to Twitch and we'll stay on D Live's Twitch and Odyssey, but we're going to stop on the YouTube. I do want to say before we get to shell everybody else that next week will be episode 200, and it should be special. We're probably going to have some former regulars, some adjunct professors, as I used to call them, right? Hang out. So that should be interesting. Should be a fun week. But all right, so Sunday I'll be talking with the JJ Stoner. All right, man, you need to hook up with JJ. Because he's funny as shit, and his show is like oddly addictive in a great way. Tom Man Tips 1127 and says, happy birthday to you all. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. No scope.
Oh, yeah,
1080.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Pup,
Happy
pup, close.
birthday.
Everybody. B token and no scope 1080.
Oh,
Are we actually gonna
yay.
sing a real song? No.
Right. Right. All right. And so, and then Monday I'll be doing the communist extra credit on Twitch and Odyssey and D Live, I guess now. We'll be doing more of the interview, like the guy that used to live in the Soviet Union has been interviews people, modern day communists and shit, and points out how fucking fucked up they are. And he's great. It's good. All right, and next Wednesday, I don't know exactly who. Excel's talking about maybe having one of two guests, so keep an eye out for that. But it's going to be Rittenhouse related. And Thursday, I will be interviewing Rob Knorr of Normal America, which is I don't know if you know who he is. He debates often on Twitch. He's really big on Twitch. He's a lot bigger on Twitch than he is on YouTube. But he debates leftists all the time, and he's excellent at what he does. You know, he's the most articulate everyman I've ever seen. So yeah, he's good at it, and I'm really excited about that. Of course, next Friday, episode 200 here. All right, and Ash, what you got coming up?
Regular videos uploaded to my channel. You know, I don't have a set schedule of uploads, but I usually try to do like 1 or 2 at least a week. And then on Sundays, me and Chigon and Bubonic and Object of Hate do Kino and Commentary, where we watch a movie and talk about it. And we're on a little bit of a break right now because everybody's got like a lot of
again?
holiday. I don't know. I was gonna say it really depends on object, I guess. Like, I mean, I'm ready whenever, but we're on a little bit of a break. We're not gonna do one this week. We took last week off and we're not doing one this week. I don't know about week after next, but it's normally at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, and it's live. And you know, we watch like movies, like good movies, and we have a good time talking about them. And you know, we do a live chat, and it's a really good time. So yes, check out my channel, and then Kino and Commentary on Bubonic's channel on Twitch, and I will throw both those links in the chat.
Cool. Shigon, what you got coming up?
Yeah, basically what Ash said. Again.
That's right. They're connected.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so I think I don't know if we'll be back on the 5th for Kino and Commentary. But like check back next week. I don't know if we're gonna be doing something on Thursday. We might at 5 p.m. or no, sorry, 7 p.m. Central.
Informative massacre porn.
Yes, informative massacre porn. So check Bubonic's channel for that too. To check us out there. Yeah.
Sweet. Mr. Roasted?
I have nothing to show at this time other than to thank everybody for being patient with me while I work through my shit.
Hey, man. You know,
Yay.
you just got back in your house.
So
and
happy
shit.
to have you back. We missed you so much.
No shit, dude.
I missed me too. I left me part of a big chunk of me was left behind in this house waiting for it to get put back together so that, you know, I could resume my normal life. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back amongst the living, in a nice house, a very comfortable house where there's enough room for me to actually, you know, like hang out without having to move over so somebody can change their mind, much less their clothes. It's great.
Damn. Glad to see you back at your place, man.
Yeah. All right, Trippy, what about you, man? Tomorrow night?
Brain fart. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a show at night. We'll do my nighttime show on Saturdays. I forgot for a second. Sorry. I don't know what we're doing. We might do a Twitch crawl. We might make fun of some shit on YouTube again. I don't know. We'll have some fun. It'll be stupid.
Digging
so
it.
that's about the best way to put it.
What about
I
Sunday?
should call it Saturday Night Stupidity or something.
I like that.
Your Saturday streams are fun, Trippy.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like, hey, we're gonna crawl the internet like everybody would do if they weren't streaming.
Yeah, and kind of,
Just surfing the wave, man. Surfing
embracing
the
the embracing the cringe. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Have we checked in on Anime Please guy?
I'll probably do one on him Sunday afternoon.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think he's been making
Bizarro
streams
AP.
lately.
Yeah.
Like ever since me and Babane kind of fucked him up that day, and whoever else was in the chat, messing with him too. He's been doing live streams instead of videos, which is weird. That's a weird way to go.
Right? And that's okay, that's definitely a way to get trolled,
Uh-huh. And it looks like his last video was 6 days ago. So he has done a video.
All right, so are we ready to exit the YouTube, as it were, and join us on Twitch, Odyssey, or DLive? All right. So everybody on YouTube, thanks for showing up. If you want to hang out some more, that's where we're going. Fun place. Bye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
It'll be fun in Twitch. Let's go.